In this video, I want to show you a frame that you can put your issue or problem into, and that will help you to increase your self-awareness regarding this problem and issue, and gives you a very systematic way and approach to resolve it step by step. You can do this, of course, with a therapist or with a coach, but you can also try to do it by yourself. So this video will show you how. So let's start by finding out an issue or problem that you might want to change. And let's just take an example and say you suffer under low confidence. So low confidence is a problem and you want to improve it. You want to increase your confidence level. And this scaling technique would work like, I would ask you, okay, on a scale of 0 to 10, how much confidence do you have? Where 0 is you have 0 confidence, and 10 is you have the most confidence that you can think of for yourself. And this is important now. The 10 does not represent the confidence that any human can possibly achieve, but that you can possibly think of for yourself. So you don't compare yourself with everyone else, but just with yourself, what you can imagine for yourself. What is the maximum in your imagination? Because that tells already a lot about yourself, and it helps that you don't compare yourself to others so much, but you have the frame to just compare yourself with the imagination and possibilities for yourself. Because I would assume that you are the biggest and best expert for yourself and not anyone else. I'm not an expert for you, not anyone else is an expert for you. Therefore, it's important for me to understand your inner world and your self-concept, especially regarding this topic. All right, let's just draw this here. Okay, you have the scale, you have a 10, and you have a 0 down here. Of course, there's other scales possible. You can say percentage, like there's 0% and 100%. This is also possible, but it's easier to have a scale of 0 to 10. It's easier for people. Okay, there's 5 in the middle. And now let's assume you say you are 3 out of 10 in confidence. So next question I would ask you is, what does that specifically mean? What is a 3 out of 10 for you? How would you describe it? How would your behavior look like? What is your mindset like? What are your beliefs? What are your emotions when you think about it? Maybe you say, yeah, I feel sometimes a little bit sad. I feel not very safe. I feel not loved. There's not a lot of love. And I'm quite nervous, I'm quite anxious, and I avoid looking into the mirror, maybe. I don't want to see a photo of me. When friends take a photo, I look away. Maybe that's a behavior that you show. Or maybe you say you have certain beliefs in your head, like I'm not good enough for others, others cannot love me, or I have to give value to others so they will respect me. Okay, these are my thoughts. You have to be as specific as possible to describe 3 out of 10. And now what is interesting is you can ask for exceptions, or you can ask for different states of confidence that you know about, that you have personally experienced. You can ask, okay, what was the lowest you ever had? Maybe this person says, yeah, I'm pretty low right now, but I have had a 2 out of 10 in the past. That was my lowest. And you can ask again, okay, describe as specific as possible what the 2 out of 10 looked like, especially different than the 3. And the person will describe something. And then you can ask, what was the highest you can remember that you ever had? Then the person maybe says, okay, I once had a 6 out of 10. It was in that and that situation when I had this boyfriend or girlfriend, and I was really in love, and the other person was also in love with me, and therefore I felt really good, or I had this promotion at work, and I got a raise in my salary or something like this, and then I felt really, really good. Okay, so you let the person describe the exact circumstances. And all of that gives you information about the person, about the inner world, and how this person values and measures their personal self-confidence. Of course, you as a coach, as a therapist, as an outside person, you have your own idea about the concept of self-confidence. Maybe you have read books about it or listened to some podcasts and heard some experts talk about it. But this might not be the same kind of interpretation of self-confidence that this client, this person might have, or if you're treating yourself, that yourself might have. So it's really important to understand the inner world of the person who is affected. And now you can start asking some hypothetical questions as well and explore those. And you can therefore ask for states of confidence that a person has never experienced, as long as the person remembers, of course. So you can ask, okay, how would a 10 look like? Or how would a 0 look like? Okay, you are a 3 out of 10, so why are you not lower? This is also a question you can ask. What prevents you from going lower? And then the person can also think about actually resources, or it can think about a side that the person might have that is preventing her or him from going lower. And on the other hand, the person can kind of discover the side that keeps the confidence level low at the 3, or decreased it down to a 3, or at one time down to a 2. So you can explore different sides. And this would be like the hypnosystemic approach that I prefer to use and that I will talk about a lot in my channel here. That helps you to increase your self-awareness. So if you see different sides that have an influence in your confidence and self-confidence, that you can better understand it. One very important benefit of this technique is that the client understands that its self-confidence is not static, but it's very dynamic. And this is proven through this technique, that the person gets aware that there are changes in the self-confidence, in the perceived self-confidence, depending on the circumstances, depending which side is stronger right now and is more dominant inside the person. So the person could realize and be aware that if it would listen to the more confident side, or the side that prevents the person from going even lower in confidence, going down to a 0, that is basically supportive in terms of self-confidence. And if the other side wouldn't be so dominant, if the circumstances would be better, the person might get promoted again or something like that, the partner would be nicer to the person, this side would be louder and would lift the confidence. But actually, you can still listen to it. You can still put a lot of attention to it. Listen what it says, what the thoughts are, what the advice is that this side would give to the person to lift the confidence, even despite difficult circumstances. And on the other hand, the person would get to know and understand this side that pushes the confidence down much better, and it could try to interpret it and look behind it, what is on the needs level. Oh, okay, this side actually wants to protect me and adapt me to the difficult circumstances that I have currently. It wants to protect me from making mistakes, to be overly bold when actually my performance is actually not very good, and it would not be good to be overly confident. I need to be adaptive to the situation, and I have to work harder, and I need to be humble. So you could say, okay, now I understand the side better, and I need to keep it included into the process. And I need to keep it as an advisor. How to, on the one hand, increase my confidence a little bit, step by step, but not too much, not too fast. And now this scaling technique is very, very interesting and helpful, because it does not ask you to get 100% confidence, or maybe just jump to the 6 out of 10, from 3 out of 10 to 6 out of 10, but to ask for the smallest next step. So let's say from 3 to 4, what would the change look like? And you can ask both sides, the supportive side and the blocking side, the sabotaging side. Both of them, hey, is it okay to go to the next step, try the next step? It's not too far, it's not too fast, but it's just one small next step. So actually, I could be more confident and I could actually perform better at work, because with more confidence, I feel better and I will achieve better results. So this critical side is still in the boat with the progress. That's important. And you can say, okay, a 4 out of 10, is that fine? Maybe this side says, no, it's too far, it's too much. And say, okay, 3.5, let's do 3.5. And the person can think about, what would a 3.5 look like? What's a small incremental progress in my behavior, in my thoughts, my attitude towards myself, my beliefs, and maybe in my emotional feelings regarding myself and my performance, my identity, and all the other aspects that the person might have in a 3 out of 10. What would be a little bit different? And therefore, the person can try to focus on the progress. And this is another value of this technique. It focuses on progress and on the process, not on the solution, not on the end solution, not on the end goal, because the goal might be too far and might inhibit you, actually. Because this side that has been so dominant for you, that has dragged you down in your confidence, needs to be in the boat. And it will never be on the boat with you and supportive of you and supportive of the progress if you think about an end goal. Yeah, that's too much for this side. So you have to take really small steps. Okay, and this is kind of how this scaling technique works. You become self-aware of different sides. You understand where you are. You understand what the next small step is. That is fine for all sides of you. And that comes from your own mind, not from the therapist, not from the coach. He doesn't suggest you anything. It comes from yourself. And then you try to implement it and transfer it to your real life, take it into action. And if it was successful, fine. Then you can think about the next little step. If it didn't achieve it, okay, then you need to do a smaller step, an even smaller step. Okay, what's the 3.1? From 3 to 3.1, what would that look like? What is just one tiny change I could make? You know, and then you just look what is possible, what is achievable. And this means you will have a very systematic, incremental progress. And progress gives you a good feeling. When you have progress about something that you had only experienced decline in, and therefore you suffered, this will completely shift your mind. You will feel much, much better about it, and you will be motivated to keep on working on it. That's the whole magic of this technique. So I hope this video has helped you. And if so, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. If you need personal help, look down in the description. There you find kind of how you can contact me, my website, and see you next video.